What is up, guys? It is Dadbod here. Welcome back to my Elden Ring walkthrough. So, in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to basically knock out the rest of Liurnia, with the exception of this here plateau, which we're not going to be able to get to too much later in the game, and the Carrion Manor, which also we're going to come to later in the game. You can go on and do this area now, but I'm saving it for a little bit later. And then on top of that, we are going to do the nighttime bosses in this area before we move on. So first things first, if you remember in the Academy level, we got a second glintstone key. We have a NPC, Thops, who requested a glintstone key. So we are going to go on and deliver that to him right now and close out his side quest. And for doing his side quest, we actually get a gesture called Erudition, which we are going to need to unlock. If you recall, we got to this tower here, the converted tower. We needed that to unlock that. And there's another one that we're going to get to later on in this episode where you need that same gesture. So again, you're going to need that second glintstone key to give to him, which we found in the Academy in the last episode. So let's have a quick chat.
Back to learn another? Wonderful.
Okay, we can give him the Academy glintstone key.
Are you certain? You're willing to give your glintstone key to me? My, oh my. Thank you. Thank you dearly. Now I can go back to the Academy to resume my study of glintstone sorceries. And the very stars.
Okay, so we got the Erudition gesture.
Back to learn another, why, of course. Thank you, dear. With you a blessing. Or perhaps, who knows, I may be a decorated sorcerer by then.
Perhaps you will be a decorated sorcerer. We will see. So after giving him the key, we got to quit out. And he will move to the Academy once we get back into the game here. And in his spot in this church, we now have a Scarab, which we can get rid of for an Ash of War, Thops' Barrier. What that does is it's a parry type ability, which allows you to actually parry spells as well. So if someone's shooting a projectile spell at you, you can use that Ash of War on your shield to reflect the spell back at them. And it also functions as just a regular parry. So what we're going to do is we're going to find his spot in Ray Lucaria, warp to the schoolhouse classroom, and he's right outside. Let's see. So I want to go out here. And there he is. He is actually dead now. So we get his bell bearing, Academy Glintstone Staff, and Thops' Barrier, which is a spell. So that is the end of Thops' quest line. So he is actually dead now. We're going to go to the converted tower. I'm actually going to take away this marker because we will have the ability now to unlock the puzzle. Because again, you need the Erudition gesture to do, which we just got from Thops from giving him the Academy Glintstone key. So you see this message, Erudition guide thee. So we have the Erudition gesture. So I'm going to switch this one. Erudition is, where is it? There it is. So we need to perform that gesture in this spot. And you'll see a little ladder is going to pop up behind here on the wall. There it is. Okay. So now we can climb this ladder. And again, it's a clever little puzzle. Very tough to figure out, but as long as you know the steps, it ain't too bad. So up here, typical for one of these, we have a memory stone. Gives you another spell casting slot if you are playing as a mage. All right, so let's hop on down. Got some magic grease back here. And we are going to warp here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out this area and we're going to go all the way up here and do all this stuff. And then after that, we're going to fight the nighttime bosses in this area as well. So lots to do, but we'll have some fun. I'm going to rest at this site of grace, and what that should do is that should warp Bach, our seamster here.
Bok the seamster, at your service, master. Ready to make adjustments to your garments.
Okay, so he'll alter our garments. You see, we can actually alter the Carrionite armor. We can alter D's armor as well. And you see what happens is if you look at that picture when you go back and forth, you see that the weight decreases slightly, and then also our damage negation decreases. Basically, all it does is it removes the cape. I actually like the cape on this armor, so I'm going to keep it, but I'm just showing you kind of what it does. If you do actually go through with the alterations to your garments, it really is more cosmetic than anything else. You also have a finger reader over here.
Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, what a pity it is to be without the right. All you can do is stand at a loss, without even the half-crescents that wish to be whole. Before the unmoving, unfeeling grand lift ahead. Or are you planning to throw yourself to the waters? To find the coward's passage through the dip?
Okay, so she's talking about the grand lift. That's over here. This is how you could get to the plateau. And for that, we need both halves of the medallion. We only have one half of the medallion. So we are actually going to take what you call the coward's passage. But you want to go through this tunnel anyways because there's lots of loot in this tunnel. And this also takes you up to the plateau. And of course, in here, there's actually a boss that if you kill this boss in this tunnel, it gives you a trophy. So of course, for the sake of getting everything, we're going to go through this tunnel anyways. But that is going to be in a future episode that we go through there. Not too far from now. So where we're headed next is actually over here to this spot. I'm going to kill this guy on his horse. Okay, there's a few things over here. I'm not going to fight everybody. I don't need to fight everybody. Got a sanctuary stone, and then I think there's some ruin fragments around here. Okay, so we're headed to another church. And here is our Shabiri Grape Maiden.
Oh, hello.
Hyetta.
Is that you over there? Have you ever heard of fingerprint grapes? They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers. I would truly love to try one. The distant light seems far closer than before, but I can't sense a thing from the usual grapes anymore. Please, could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad.
Okay, so now she's asking for a fingerprint grape. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And we got ourselves a sacred tear. So we'll use that real quick to upgrade our flask. All right, so we increased the amount replenished by our flasks. So we are up to +6 now. With a total of 9 flask usages, I have split between 8 red and 1 blue. If you go down here, there's going to be a merchant.
What do you need?
Okay, so he's selling rune arcs. These are quite expensive. I don't typically buy these unless I need them. So just keep in mind that some of these merchants will have them. Bewitching branches, you can use these to make an enemy actually an ally, and they'll fight on your behalf if you use it on them. We also get the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook. You can craft bone great arrows and ballista bolts. So I'm going to pick that up and kind of leave it at that. I might pick up a few extra arrows while I'm at it just to beef up my stock. And I think we'll call it good right there. So just note that he sells rune arcs in case you need rune arcs. I don't think I've used a rune arc yet in this playthrough, but you use your rune arcs to to power up whatever great rune you have equipped at the time. So we talked to the Grape Maiden. So I think around here there's going to be a rune arc, and around here there's going to be another rune arc. So we'll hit those spots up, and then there's going to be like an enemy encampment over here and over here. We're going to hit that up as well, just for some loot. And over here there's another lore note. The first Liurnian war, Radagon's glory burns red as his hair. So there were wars that took place in this area. I think mainly they were between the Carians and the Academy, because there was a rift between the two, kind of like a civil war going on. And Radagon, as we learned from the Turtle Pope in the Church of Vows, was married to Renala for a time. And Renala was the last boss we just fought. She was the one who's in charge of the Academy. All right, so got another rune arc. And there's a giant catapult over here. As long as you run full speed, you're generally going to be safe. The big worry is this fire thing who chases you around, and those fire things can be quite a problem. Just heard the horn blow, but I'm not really all that concerned. Really, I just want the loot. And there are a couple cerulean scarabs around here. Where is... There it is. I'm like super in a bad situation right now. That was close. Okay, really, all I want is this piece of loot, and they're not letting me have it. There we go, the Cuckoo Glintstones. You decide if that's worth it or not. I don't feel like fighting all these guys, really. And over here, there's a treasure chest. And for the Great Mace. And there's another cerulean scarab around here somewhere. Lots of horse-mounted enemies. And then, of course, that giant fire guy. Not really interested in a long fight right now. Especially, you see, we got kind of some of these, like, elite guys. And yet, I still am compelled to fight. I don't know why. I got iframes from dismounting my horse right there. That was perfectly timed. Otherwise, I probably would have died. All right, I don't need this. I really don't. I had to get the last word though. Okay, so we're gonna go to this grand lift anyways. We don't have both halves of the medallion. The first half we got at the I think it was at the Fort Height in Eastern Limgrave. The second half is in Caelid. We have not really explored Caelid extensively yet, and quite honestly, we're not going to go to Caelid. I'm not going to go to Caelid until later. Some people do Caelid sooner rather than later. I'm going to hold off on Caelid because there are other areas to explore. Really, it is up to preference and what area, what order you do everything. But if you had both halves of the medallion, you'd be able to go up there, and then this giant elevator would take you up to the top of the plateau. But for now, we're going to warp back here and take kind of this cliffside up here. And we're going to get to the Frenzied Flame Village. So over here, kind of to the east, I've showed you all this before briefly. If you want that mausoleum, this is where that mausoleum is. See it crawling around right there. We've been up here very briefly before. Did not explore this area extensively at all, but we did go up there to show you how to get that mausoleum if you should want it. All right, don't need to fight y'all. Just gonna hit this and hop on over here. And there's the lift we were just at just a minute ago. Picked up an Arteria leaf. So we're just to the east. We're kind of ascending this cliffside. And in a previous episode, we were down here. We got this urge tree, minor urge tree and all that. What we're going to do now is we're going to be able to be at the top of this cliff because you see this wall that divides it. You cannot go from here up to here. The only way you can get up to this spot is if you come around this side around here. So, and here we've got some frenzied rats. And you see how their eyes are glowing yellow? That means that they will inflict madness if they hit you. Well, they won't inflict madness, but they will start. You will start to see the madness bar build up. And if that bar builds up, it's going to do a percentage of damage to your HP. I don't know exactly what that percentage is, but it is a decent amount of your HP that'll go away instantly. If that madness builds up. It's very similar. If you've played Bloodborne, it is very similar to Frenzy in Bloodborne. Only in this game it is called Madness. And so you see up there. Oh, I got away just in time. So you see up there, that's kind of like the Eye of Sauron at the top of that tower. If it sees you, your madness is going to build up. So again, kind of, I don't mean to keep bringing Bloodborne up, but it's kind of like the Brain of Mensis in Bloodborne, that when the Brain of Mensis sees you, it builds up your frenzy. Well, if this sees you, it builds up your madness. So very similar. But you can also, if you run quickly on horseback, kind of in between its cycles, you can get off to the side. And if you get behind something, if it can't visibly see you, then that bar is going to stop building up. So what I want to do is I actually want to get on the other side of this cliff. I want to let my madness kind of decline a little bit before I rush over there, get that item right there. And then there's a spirit spring jump. We can barely see it at the edge of the screen there that we can take up to get to that tower. And then we can deactivate that Frenzied Flame that's trying to get us, get the madness going. So once this shuts off, I'm going to sprint over, pick up this item, hide behind these rocks. And now we can jump up here. And the goal is you want to get underneath here as quickly as possible so the flame can't see you. But just know there's rats. I just, dang it. I just got frenzied. Or I got madnessed. Oh, well. So you see that it can be dangerous. I wasn't being careful enough, but it's all good. Let's see. I think actually we can get there. Yeah, it's probably about the same either way. So, but since I got those items now, I can just kind of head straight down that the side of that pathway, where it'll be harder for the Frenzy Flame to see me. So apologize for the backtracking. I don't like to cut deaths out of my walkthrough just to show you that, you know, show you some things that could go wrong, because I feel like a mistake, whether it be your own or someone else's, is always an opportunity to learn something in these games. So I feel like, you know, if I leave these in, it gives you the opportunity to see something I did wrong and perhaps, you know, something that you can watch out for in your own playthrough. So I'm going to go straight over to this side, which has a bunch of rocks to hide behind if I need to. Here we go. So you see on the, going around this side, the madness barely built up at all. I'm going to go for the big rat first. I feel like that's the biggest threat is the big rat. There we go. So see, got the rats taken care of. When we're right underneath, we don't really take the madness buildup. But yes, this flame that was doing that madness buildup is right above our heads right now. And we're going to be able to get rid of that in just a second here. So inside of this chest, we get the Howl of Shabiri. So Shabiri, that should sound familiar because we've been giving that maiden Shabiri grapes. When you get up here, this is actually going to do madness damage. But if you take these enemies out, that flame is going to stop now. So we're good. So we've been feeding that lady Shabiri grapes, and that's what she wants. So I don't know if she has it all together or not, but we'll find out. Okay, so where we're headed next is right around this area. There should be a Site of Grace that we're going to unlock. And then we're going to head right into the Frenzied Flame village, which, as you could imagine, is a village inhabited by frenzied folks. I'm going to go on and rest here. So the Frenzied Village is right here, kind of right in front of where we're looking. There is some stuff to pick up here. So these enemies in here can do frenzy damage on us. Some of them have magic. Got the Frenzied Cookbook that allows you to craft the item that reduces frenzy buildup. Let's see here. There's some crafting stuff over here. Eye of Yellow. Try to make sure I'm not missing something in here. Okay, I think we're good. And these guys are going to be fairly difficult. They're going to have some of the magic, the frenzy magic. See, they like shoot that stuff from their eyes, the projectiles. Oh, now they're throwing the glintstone stuff at us. Okay. Got the Shabiri's Woe. That's actually a talisman you can equip that actually increases enemy aggression towards you. All right, let's see here. There's actually a note in here that talks about the Frenzied Flame. I'm trying to make sure I find that note. I think it's around here. Here it is. It's back behind this house. Yep, note. The Lord of Frenzied Flame. This is just another one of those little hints. This one you don't have to buy. Beneath Lyondell at the very bottom lies our Lord, Lord of the Frenzied, the three fingers who holds us in thrall. So beneath the Lyondell, that's the capital, the three fingers. So keep that in mind for later. Let's see. We can go up here, up this little hill right here. There's some stuff for us up here. There is a scarab that has an Ash of War. There it is. Along with some frenzy rats. So we get the frenzied burst. Actually, I think that's a incantation, not an Ash of War. Oh my gosh, these rats are driving me nuts. Okay. Down here, there's a cemetery with a bunch of runes. Pick those up. Now, this cemetery is surrounded by those poisonous flowered things, but instead of emitting poison, they emit the madness buildup. So, can be a bit dangerous, but runes are always good to have. See, I'm getting that madness build up now. That's what these things emit. I mean, madness is not an instant death. It just does a pretty solid chunk of damage to your HP, so. Okay, I think that's about all of them. So let's see. I actually want to head back over to the village. There is, there's that wall surrounding the village. There's actually a way to get on top of the wall. And on top of the wall is a stone sword key. I'm just a little bit disoriented because I can't access my map right now. Yeah, so jump down on the wall right here. And here is key. Now there are some rats down there. But there's also an item down there. So I'm just going to drop down. Probably dismount my horse and then go to town. Fortunately, getting one-hit kills on the little rats make things. Oh, I got a rune arc. That's actually pretty rare. As a drop from the rats. I mean, you can technically farm rats for rune arcs. It is a pretty rare drop. So there are those twin mausoleums. If you remember when we explored this area from before, we got the two mausoleums down there. And that's the minor urge tree. We've already done that fight. Already got the loot from there. So going this way is going to take us back around to the frenzied village. So where we're headed next is up here is another church. And this church is actually going to have an invasion spawn in front of it. And it's a fairly tough enemy. See, the ghost says, "Ah, Lord Vike, seems that you were no lord after all. Where is he, our true lord, the lord of Frenzied Flame? We beg of you, incinerate all that divides and distinguishes." So Vike is the one who's going to invade us here. You see, I got forced off of my horse. I'm going to go ahead and pop my Physic Flask. This guy is tough. He does, I believe, madness build up. And he hits pretty hard and is fairly fast. I'm going to see if I can get a cheap backstab on him. No, not a cheap backstab, but I still got a few hits right after he spawned in. You see, yes, his weapon does that madness buildup. And he can heal once, but just once, fortunately. So you see, he's got some of the madness spells, and I'm about to get madness if I'm not careful. That's kind of like an AoE madness effect. And got him. So he is tough, especially if he gets that madness to hit. But for killing him, we get our fingerprint grape. Remember, that's what Hyetta wanted. So we have that for her now, and we get Vike's War Spear. So that is how you get the fingerprint grape. You have to kill that invader. And in here, we have his Site of Grace. And we have the Maiden's set. Remember, we got that thing from Vari, and we actually went to the 4 belfries to work back to the Chapel of Anticipation to get them to soak that thing in Maiden's blood. If you have not done that yet, you can actually soak it in her blood. That is also Maiden's blood, and that will count for his quest line as well. You can do that here as well. We've already done that, but just a little heads up in case you haven't done that yet. You can soak it in her, and then that will count for his quest line. Let's go ahead and use. Let's see. Can we level up? Not quite. I'm gonna level up my flask though. We should be up to +7 now. There we go. Wonderful. So let's see here. We've gotten pretty much everything we can get in this area. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna warp back here to the Frenzied Flame village, and where we want to head now is to this. This is another like Rise puzzle that we're gonna be doing. And let's see, what direction are we going? This way. And there it is right in front of us. So down there is the Black Knife Catacombs. We've already done that. And there is this troll guarding the way, but I really don't have much interest in killing him. Around here on this cliff, there is a thing down here. Be forewarned, it is a little bit tricky. It's just some crystal darts. It is a little bit tricky to get back over to where we were without warping. Because in order to get back, we have to jump very delicately on these tombstones, and it is very easy to fall. Single jumps are the best. So single jump over here, and we can get back up here. It's very easy to fall, so just beware. So this is another Erudition Light the Way. This guy, is he going to leave us alone, or is he going to be... Can he hit us in here? I'm sure he probably can. Maybe not. So this one, in addition to doing the Erudition gesture, to solve this puzzle, you actually have to equip... Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. Wow. It's not going to leave us alone. And killing these things, you don't get that great of a reward, so it's... not the best use of time. If you can go around him and get him to leave you alone, that'd probably be better. All right, so for this one, you have to wear one of those, like, glintstone crowns. That's part of the puzzle, so any one of these will work. Equip one of these, and then do the Erudition gesture. And that seal to the left side will go away once the gesture is complete. Seal on the rise opened. So we can take off our mask here. Put our regular stuff back on. I'll do the Rhea Lucaria helm. See my face. One of these giant balls is going to spawn. I just do a couple specials, and then that'll take care of them. You miss that purple mist, it'll hurt you. All right, so this one is a little bit different. The layout's a little bit different than many of the other ones. There's actually an elevator in this one that we're going to go up. And the reward for this is not a memory stone, actually. It's something different. We're going to get a couple spells. So we get the Cannon of Hyetta, as well as the Gavel of Hyetta. So that gavel, there's been a couple enemies that we've come across that can use it. It's actually, it is a giant hammer that gets summoned, and It requires, I think, a decent bit of intelligence to use. Let's see, the gavel. 25 intelligence, yeah. So not something that's going to be in our wheelhouse. So where we're going to go now is, this is all of the exploration that we have to do in this episode. Really, we've picked up on this northern section of Liurnia. We've gotten pretty much all that we can get. So now it's just going to be time to fight the night bosses. So the first one we're going to fight is right on the lake. So I'm going to warp down here, and we're going to start taking on some of the night bosses. All right, so here we are back at the lake. Do a quick rune check. Is this enough to level up? It might be not quite. Actually, though, now that I think of it, we actually got that fingerprint grape, so we can give that back to Hyetta. We're gonna do that real quick before we start taking on some of these bosses. I might use some runes just to pick up that level, just so we don't have any runes at stake when we're taking on some of these, you know, more challenging nighttime type bosses.
They're special grapes, please. Without one.
So we do have the fingerprint grape now. We're going to give it to her.
Oh, a fingerprint grape. Tried and true. What a wondrous thing. A fingerprint grape. Oh, how sweet. Yet, how it burns. Thank you. I've composed myself again. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
Okay, so if you rest, you see she is gone. She's advanced to her next location. We are not going to get to her next location for quite some time, but she has moved on to her final location. So let's see, just to double check. So I need like just over 2,500 more to level up again. So definitely going to get some runes for that. 2,400. Maybe 3 of these. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Oh, look at that. I don't know if that was... That's still not enough, is it? No. I need a few hundred more. My mental math is not always on point, but that's okay. 2 of these should get it. And this is just for the sake of having as few runes as possible in the line where we're fighting some, you know, fairly challenging bosses. Not the hardest bosses we've fought so far, but, you know, need to be respected. I'm going to put this into HP now that we got this to 35. The first soft cap for HP is going to be 40. But as I also said, I'm trying to get my strength up to level 40 as well, so I can use the grafted blade later on in the game. So from this point, I'm probably going to trade levels between vigor and strength. And then I'll go on and advance to nighttime. Till nightfall. Okay. So the first boss that we're going to hit up is like right in here. So we're going to warp to this side of Grace. And also to prep, this is a death bird, but this is a particular type of death bird that also happens to be weak to holy damage. So I'm going to throw on my Sacred Uji Katana. And if I have trouble, I might try upgrading it. But Sacred Uji Katana is going to work very well against this boss. Because it is like a cursed death bird, I guess, something along those lines. Deathrite bird is what he's called. But you'll see he is slightly different. You know, he has like a glowing aura about him. He has different moves. I should probably pop my physic flask while I'm at it. So he is actually very weak to this projectile. You see how much damage that projectile does? Quite nifty. But he's also doing frostbite buildup on us as well, so just be careful. And he also has death blight buildup, so if that death blight gets all the way, then it's an instant death. Okay. Oh, he got his grab attack on me. Dang it. So he is quite more difficult than the other death birds. But again, this holy damage is helping us out a lot. You see the holy just wore off. You see how much more damage we were doing with the holy on than with it off. And there, a shot to the head with the holy projectile. It's pretty insane. He's just so erratic with his movements, though, that it is very difficult to get a shot in when we need it. I'm actually going to try unlocking and getting underneath him and just wailing on him. He's almost dead. All right, just to get him. All right. So he is harder than the other death birds, but again, having that holy damage makes an enormous difference. So we got the Ancient Death Rancor. That's going to be a spell that we do not have the stats for, or at least I don't, down here. So this one, Rancor calls summons vengeful spirits, and this one summons a horde of vengeful spirits, but requires 34 intelligence, 24 faith. Not even close to being in my wheelhouse. So I'm going to put the Bloodhound's Fang back on, and we are going to warp down here now, I guess, to the Scenic Isle. The next one we're going to fight's over here. And this is going to be a regular death bird. So I'm just going to use my regular weapon. It doesn't have like the death build up on him or anything like that. So much more straightforward fight. So this one's showing up. I want to knock out this beacon if I can. There we go. So for these ones, I generally fight them on horseback until they knock me off, and then I fight them on foot. No particular reason why. And using your Crimson Flask actually heals your horse as well. And I do have the fruits to heal Torrent, because those heal just him. So I will use those in certain cases. Right now I'll use one, for example. And this will increase his HP. Ah. Surprised he hasn't knocked me off yet. There we go. Oh, no, he did knock me off. I'm still on. That's actually quite surprising. Keep my health topped off. Kind of run away from that big slam that he does. He has quite a bit of range with it. And he's almost dead. Okay. So I was able to do the whole thing on horseback. As I mentioned, if he knocks me off my horse, I generally finish up the fight on land. But in that case, I was able to get the whole thing on horseback. So you get the Red Feathered Branch Sword, which I believe is a talisman. And I've got my third talisman pouch. I need to equip that. So this raises attack power when HP is low. This raises defense when HP is low. My third slot, I'll do enhances jump attacks. I do a bunch of jump attacks. And we got these dragonflies that are going to keep me from warping away. Need to get away from stuff that's going to keep me from using my map. Okay, so next, this is going to be a Knight Rider Cavalry guy. The next two are going to be the horse enemies. And I generally fight these on horseback. Pop my Physic Flask. I fight them on horseback until their horse is almost dead. And then I switch to on foot, knock them off their horse, and then critical them on the ground. Oh, his horse is almost dead. Oh, we got the bear coming out now, man. That's just wonderful. Fortunately, it's not like the big bear. All right, gonna try to knock him off his horse here. And then one critical on the ground should get him once he's off his horse. There we go. He's off his horse, do the critical, and that should be it for him. There we go. We get the Ash of War Ice Spear from him. And then last but not least, we're going back up here. This is going to be another Knight Cavalry Rider guy. All right. This will be the last one for this episode. He should spawn right around here. There he is. I see him out in the distance. Kind of the same thing, same weapon. This one might be a little bit more powerful. I can't remember. Yeah, he already knocked me. Oh my gosh. Feed him berry. I don't know how his HP was doing, but figured he could probably use a little bit of a boost. Oh, I already got him off his horse. Wow. Do the critical. It's not going to kill him. I knocked him off his horse too early. But I am going to do a charged R2 for when he gets back up. Back away. Whoop. Didn't back away in enough time for him to hit me with his glaive, or his axe or whatever he's... the glaive. And that's the weapon that we're going to get for killing him right here. Okay, Ash of War Giant Hunt and Knight Rider Glaive. So, actually a pretty solid weapon to use if you like the glaive type weapons. Lots of reach with that one. Very solid choice. So guys, that's gonna do it for this one. We got the night bosses. I am aware that there is a bell-bearing hunter that you can fight at night. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fight all of the bell-bearing hunters at once. In a future episode. So I know that there's one in Limgrave we haven't fought. There's one here that we haven't fought. I'm going to fight all the bell-bearing hunters at once. And we'll save those for later. Those are a bit tougher. So I'm just killing all the other night bosses that are in the area. So that's going to do it for now, guys. Hope you have enjoyed yourself. Hope you're having a great time in your own playthrough of Elden Ring as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate all of y'all's support. Really means the world to me. So, anyways, hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.